Alright, so here we have game number 1 of the second top 4 match. Here we have John W versus Nicholas. John has been playing this game for a while, and I don't know that he has a YCS win. I do believe he has a few tops to his name, but we'll see if he's able to manage getting into the finals this time. So he does start off with Habakiri and Tasaji, and Tasaji does get hit with an Ash Blossom, but he is playing Yummy cards, so let's see if he has any in hand to be able to continue playing. And he does. He opens up a Cup C Yummy. Nicholas here may or may not have a response to it. Looks like he's just letting it go, which will allow John to grab a copy of Surprise. Now, this is the matchup to watch, right? Mitsurugi Yummy versus Branded Dracotail. Both of these decks were at one point played pure. In fact, all four of these decks have at one point been played pure, but now they have melded together into a very synergistic deck. Branded Dracotail being able to cheat out Ketu Rahu with the use of Branded Fusion as an additional Dracotail card, being able to dump cards like Frixel or Malulu in some cases. And the Mitsurugi Yummy deck, both of these engines can bridge into each other. Mitsurugi Yummy being able to bridge into it with the Herald, and sometimes, not all the times, but Mitsurugi being able to bridge into Yummy with the use of Zombie Vampire. So, we'll see which one of these two decks make it out on top into the finals. All I know is that Aditya is locked in, and he is going to have a very smooth time to rest before he has to get into the final stage. So John decides to add... decides to add Marshmallow and Lollipo. His discard could be Habakiri if he cannot continue any of the Mitsurugi follow-up plays. So we may just see him very well end on just Yummy cards, but it's fine because Herald is usually an honorary Yummy member. Or maybe he actually keeps it since Herald can search for the ritual later, right? So yeah, no, actually... looks like he does decide to just discard a hand trap instead. It's a Ghost Bell. It's not very good when you go first typically, and it's not very good in general against what's their face, against Dracotail, unless Arthalion is somehow the last card in the chain link, which never really happens. So but we're going to see him special summon both the Marshmallow and the Lollipo, and now he synchros to go into a Samsara Cat. This is going to allow him at this point to make a Herald, and this would be the 5th summon, I believe. I think this is more than just the 5th, now that I think about it. Does Nick have a Nibiru? He's reading the card, making sure that he understands it properly, but yes, this card can summon itself back from the graveyard by shuffling back a Synchro, so he can do this process all over again, because all he would have to do is use Samsara to shuffle back the Cup C, and then activate Surprise to summon Marshmallow and add the Surprise back from grave to the hand. So, Herald of the Arclight is going to be Synchro Summon, and then he's going to link it off from the extra monster zone into Gravity Controller, which will allow him to grab out a copy of the, not Habakiri, but Mitsurugi Ritual to Ritual Summon the Habakiri from his hand. Or maybe he'll summon Murakumo from the deck. We'll see. So it looks like he will special summon the Murakumo from the deck here, attributing the Habakiri. This is now going to allow Habakiri to add the Mitsurugi Mirror. If he has Futsu in hand, he can, special summon it. If not, then he's likely going to just Ritual Summon back the Habakiri and get a search. Now, Nicholas debating on whether or not he has a response. He does have Ghost Bell. Looks like he is not going to do anything, so he is going to just let that Surprise go. Special summons out the Marshmallow Yummy, and now Marshmallow is going to add back the Yummy Surprise. Man, I am still tired. Okay. Maybe I should grab a coffee after all of this so that I don't die during the rest of the day. Or maybe I just sleep for the rest of the day after finals, but we'll see. Here we're going to see John now synchro summon with the Marshmallow and the Gravity Controller to Lollipo to summon back 2 yummy monsters from the graveyard. This is an important time to remind everyone that even though the Gravity Controller cannot be used as a link material during the turn that it is link summoned, you can very well use it for a synchro summon, as I don't believe Konami thought that they were going to have cards like this that can just synchro summon with these tuners. And the Nibiru does get made. Samsara Cat gets banished. He's calculating the amount of attack points that they're going to have. 12, 24, 68, I believe. Yeah, I think it's a 60 or 78 token. Pretty low defense, kind of. And now he decides not to use the Murakuma at all to bait out another card from the hand, but the Murakuma never got tributed this turn, so he will be able to special summon it back out onto the field. Oh, Ghost Bell, but here we have a Call by the Grave, and with only 2 cards left in Nicholas's hand, I wonder if he's even going to be able to play next turn. We also know that, I keep wanting to call him Nick because he reminds me of Nicholas Boswell from the DOW community. But John is going to be able to now summon back the Murakumo, add himself a copy of Prayers, which means his end board should be Murakumo, Prayers, Yummy Surprise, and what else is in his hand? Oh no, he's going for the Purification. Okay. Potentially already has Prayers then. Okay, yeah. Oh, I know what's in this hand. It's the Mitsurugi Mirror. That's right. Okay, so yeah, Mirror and Purification and the Surprise. Which means we're probably not going to see IP Masquerena, because he wants to keep the trap live and activate the Murakumo, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Nicholas needs a Branded Fusion, I believe. Maybe a... let me think. Would require a Branded Fusion and Cat2. But yeah, I don't think Nicholas wins from here. Looks like John was debating on whether or not he would make a Link Monster, and now he sets all 3 cards and passes. And this is to increase the odds that if Nicholas has an Urgula and is able to resolve it, he doesn't hit the right card. But here, we do see a Malulu be normal summoned. Malulu will trigger its effect, and will he activate the Great Purification? The answer is probably yes. So this is going to resolve, and yeah, Nicholas just passing on the baton and going to game number 2. Game number 2, and we are going to see Nicholas activate Ketu Dracotail to start his turn with no response so far from John. Now, a friend of mine said that he's going to see Albion activate a effect to, you know, floodgate the opponent out the game. And I'd like to think that Dracotail players are all kings and that they're not going to do that. So, I'm gonna doubt that really quick. I believe that Nicholas, if he wins this entire match, will be done without any shady things being done turn 1. Now, we're going to see him summon Lucas and add the Phimena. And now we're going to see Phimena activate its effect. Now, we got to remember that John could have had Retaliating Sea on Ketsu, but he does not. So, now we're just going to wait for Nicholas to resolve the effect of Phimena here, thinking about how many cards he's going to use from hand. And there's going to be 2, which will be a Fallen of Albaz and a Frixel, which is normally the cards that you want to send for Branded Fusion, but it looks like he's not going to be able to do what he wants today. So we're going to see the Arthalion be summoned out, and let me think, he's probably just going to add back Frixel Phimena. So he's going to set the Rahu off of the Frixel and then add these 2 monsters back. Yep. And now we're going to see him activate the Rahu. Or actually not. It looks like he does play the Hieratic package, which is really strong into Yummy. Thing is, though, is that Albaz is in the graveyard, not in the... Excuse me. Not in the hand. So, linking here before he gets locked into fusion summoning. He will use the Rahu to send the 5-mana and the Urgula to resolve the effect, which is going to summon out a, what's her name? Gulamel. From here, Arthalion and 5-mana will use their effects to set some traps. He's going to be Sting and Horn. Probably already has the Flame. And now he's going to go ahead and activate the Urgla, add back the 5-mana. And that should be everything. Again, unfortunate that the Fallen of Albaz was in hand and not in deck. It means that Nicholas does have one less interruption, but I mean, he can always summon Malulu instead, so the end of the world not there. Now we're going to see John draw from the top. Again, had no way to stop any of this. Perhaps we will see an evenly match, so we'll see. But no, to start off the turn, we do see Habakiri trigger its effect from the hand in order to special summon what's likely to be a Saji, and then tributing the Saji from the field, so that he can trigger the Saji effect. Now, Saji will activate its effect to attempt to grab Ritual Spell, but that does get stopped again by an Ash Blossom. Not bad. So, if John had a Fuwa, it would have been stopped. Now from here, let's see if he gets anything cool here for that. You know, perhaps using a thrust, right? Maybe. I'm currently eating my leftover chilies. Man, this is amazing. Anyways, John weighing out his options. Let's see what he plans to do. He activates the Akroki field spell. So this is really good, because Akroki, if he chooses to use any cards in his back row to interrupt or pop the yummy monsters on the field, he will be able to summon one back if he chooses to. Now we do see the Marshmat activate its effect to special summon itself from the hand. If I'm Nick, I think I just let the summon go, because if you send it back to the hand, John can just normal summon it, right? So I think you just allow him to link it off. He's thinking really hard about using something, though. I don't know why. Okay, it looks like it's okay. Cool. So now John here is looking to activate this Mitsurugi Prayers, tributing the Habakiri. If he stops this with Flame, the ritual can then properly resolve, assuming he has a ritual monster in the hand to be able to summon. So I think I let this go, unfortunately. Oh my god, he did that so slowly. Okay, so here is a misplay in my opinion. So I think if he was going to do this, he should have just alone activated the Sting and then Gulamel popped if he wants. Because you just, you know, allow him to grab whatever he wants, and then on a ritual spell, negate that card. I don't know. I think this is kind of greedy by him, because he may get punished, but who knows? We may very well just see him actually just lose out to that alone, because now if he link summons, he has to place the minion field spell to be able to play, and then he can summon back, or no, not summon back, but bounce the Snatchy with the effect of the Heretic. So We also see Horn, right? So Horn's another option for him. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. So, Link summons into a copy of the Snatchy. Snatchy is going to activate its effect to place the field spell. And then from there, the field spell could trigger, but I assume he's going to activate Horn. So, on resolution, does he have any response? Looks like he also had a Droll in hand. Interesting. Seals will activate its effect. Does he have Called by the Grave? The answer might just be no. So that resolves. Bouncing back to Snatchy. Seals to special summon out probably Malulu. Malulu does get summoned out onto the board. And that is game. So we're going to game 3. Congratulations. See, Dracotail players are honest players, man. Kings, truly. Both players draw their 5. And we're going to see John start, and if his hand was as good as it was in game 1, he is going to win. But we do see a draw phase Mitsurugi Prayers. So that's a little tough, honestly. Not being able to secure the Habakiri immediately, well, it's not the worst, right? Because he could be playing a smaller Mitsurugi engine overall. But he does start off with a Lollipop Yummy. And Nicholas dropping the second Fua here after the Ash responded to it the first time. Will John pass his turn? There's a big chance that he might. The fact that he dropped 2 Fuas means that his hand may not be very good. We'll see if Nicholas decides to play into it, or if he chooses to, you know, make something subtle. Maybe Murakumo trap pass and see how it goes for him. So here is the Mitsurugi Ritual. Nothing from John to stop it. Looks like he will go ahead and tribute from the deck and summon the Habakiri from the hand, which is going to be the Murakumo. And this is cool, actually, because now he can grab Mirror and play around the Fualos much better. So he can summon the Murakumo and then grab the trap after, and then have 2 bodies to Link summon if he wants, which saves him a draw to give to John into making an extra deck monster like IP Masquerena instead. Looks like Nicholas may have a Droll in Lockbird. I think he's going to allow it, so yeah. If you have Droll, that means you have 1 less Dracotail card, which would suck. And this, I believe the reason he wanted to activate it was just so that John wouldn't have access to a Purification. But he may need to let him have it just so that he can draw into more Dracotail cards or even Branded Fusion. Truly a dilemma of all time. Let's see. I mean, the addition here is easy. You just grab Great Purification, or you grab Prayers if you believe Prayers would be better for you in the long run. But the grind is really tough with just Mitsurugi alone. I'm not gonna lie to you. We could also see him potentially go for Lollipop instead of an IP Masquerena, placing the minion, summoning back the Lollipop, and then playing on Nicholas' turn instead. Very strong possibility. But it does play worse into Nibiru. So he did add the trap card on res, and I mean, yeah, he's just really debating the line of play into the Fua. He's looking at the Purification as if he doesn't know what the card does. Come on, you played against it. It's an Omni-Negate, alright? In the graveyard, he can banish it to summon a Mitsurugi monster and tribute another monster on the field. So, for those that don't know, you have to recognize that they must control a monster on the field to activate the trap. They cannot have an empty board and try to activate the trap card. Okay, so, summon Snatchy. It looks like Snatchy might utilize this effect, but he's going to drop a Veiler on the Snatchy, which I don't understand why he's doing. Because now he just loses a card for free. And it looks like his hand is full of Dracotail spells, it looks like, because he discarded a Ketsu off the top like it was nothing. I mean, now Nick has like 1 or 2 more cards left in hand. Maybe 3, actually, but this is kind of tough. I'm trying to think. I mean, you still have to play against like a few interruptions, even if... here's the Akroki. Not the minion, though, that he wants. So, he's going to set a card and pass. He's going to cut the opponent's deck before he does. And let's see if he has enough to be able to beat the end board. After all, currently, what we know is that he only has a Great Purification and the Murakumo Negate. So yeah, no, I mean, this is kind of like enough sometimes. We'll see. Looks like he drew Nip from the top of his deck. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the case. Well, here we're gonna start with a Ketu Dracotail. John can just straight up negate this with the Great Purification. Will he, though? That is a great question. And does he have Ash Blossom potentially instead? John taking his time to think. This one decision could win him the game. And he does activate the Great Purification. So it will be negated and destroyed. And Nicholas concedes. Unfortunate. John moving on to the finals. Congratulations. And we're going to see a Mitsurugi Yami versus Dracotail branded finals. Stay tuned and watch.